The Santorini volcano of the Aegean Sea of Greece is restless, and the media is, of course, waiting for a potential eruption. The biggest earthquake we had today was 5.3, followed by a lot of other 5 magnitude earthquakes, and there are tremors every few minutes. People are trying to evacuate. The airplane tickets are very expensive. They've gone up. And people are trying to find tickets, if they can, on the ferries leaving every few hours. They put more ferry boats on the line, bringing people to Athens. We know that in 1600 BC, there was a very huge eruption, a VEI 7 eruption. This is what remains of the caldera. As you can see, it has erupted and the top blew off, and what you have is the remaining of the island surrounding the caldera. And what volcano discovery tells us, the current status is restless. Santorini volcano, media speculate potential volcanic eruption. More and more news articles published in the Greek media seem to suggest that the seismic crisis is more likely than not to lead towards a new volcanic eruption at Santorini, or more likely probable at the submarine Colombo volcano. It's just basically a little off into the ocean, northeast from the main island. This needs to be taken carefully. It's well known that many outlets tend to sensationalize news. Unfortunately, the available data about the situation so far does not conclude that at the current state the volcanic eruption, while not impossible, might be very likely scenario. A magmatic involvement cannot be ruled out, but this does not mean necessarily that an eruption will follow. The Santorini volcano eruptions, we had one 1613 BC, plus or minus 7 years. It was the so-called Minoan eruption, one of the largest Plinian eruptions during the past 10,000 years on Earth. Historic eruptions then were 197 BC, then 46 to 47 BC, 726 AD, and then 1570 AD, 1707 AD, 1866 AD, 1925 AD, 1939, and 1950. The typical eruption style, dominantly explosive, with effusive activity during intervals. Powerful explosive so-called Plinian eruption appeared to occur every 10 to 30,000 years. Construction of lava shields and minor to irregularly placed sub-Plinian explosive activity during interval times. Now, the latest earthquakes that we had today were quite big. And we do have tremors, as we said, every few minutes. The schools are closed, shops are closed, everybody's trying to leave. The latest earthquake we had was 5.1 magnitude, and 4.9, 5.3, 5.1, 4.9, 4.9. As we can see, they're not at all small. And to have these happening right at your doorstep, obviously the whole island shakes. We're going to take a look at the GPS stations to see the area, if it's inflating or not. So these group of islands of Santorini is the most well-known active volcano of the Hellenic volcanic arch in the Aegean Sea. It's a very complex stratovolcano dominated by a large sea-flooded caldera created by several large explosive eruptions. The different products of about 2 million years of volcanic activity have accumulated around the small non-volcanic basement that once formed a small island similar to the other Cycladic islands, and most of the volcanic layers are visible in the multicolored sequences of the impressive steep inner walls of the caldera, striking the visitor who reaches the island by boat. And The last eruption took place in the phreatic eruption in 1950. Santorini's volcanic activity during the past 2 to 500,000 years has been dominated by very large explosion eruptions at intervals of few tens of thousands of years. The most recent of this type occurred at around 1613 BC, known as the so-called Minoan eruption, the late Bronze Age eruption, one of the biggest known volcanic explosions in younger time, and one of the most studied but still most mysterious eruption of all time, devastating not only Santorini but had a deep impact on the whole of the Eastern Mediterranean. Perhaps it even had serious worldwide effects and changed history. Still today, one can see its deposits, the characteristics, tens of meters of thick layer of white pumice and ash that blankets most of the surface of the island group. The eruption changed the shape of the island itself dramatically, and it's now believed that before the eruption, it had the shape of an almost complete ring that enclosed an earlier, shallower caldera. Then large sections of island collapsed into the empty magma chamber after the eruption, literally disappearing under the sea. The ring island was breached to the west-northwest, and the caldera was significantly widened and deepened. The Minoan eruption devastated the rich, highly developed economic center that Santorini was at the time. Since 1969, intense archaeological excavations have brought to light an important Cycladic Minoan town which had been buried beneath the volcanic ash for almost 4,000 years, although it appears that people had time to evacuate their island in time before the eruption, carrying most of their goods with them. The findings from Akrotiri are impressive, especially they include well-preserved and magnificent wall paintings, ceramics, and other objects. And thanks to the work of numerous archaeologists, a new light was thrown on an important prehistoric period in culture. The spectacular discovery even included continuing speculations that relate to volcanic destruction of Santorini on the legend of the sunken Atlantis. The historic eruptions of Santorini Volcano, although at present dormant, Santorini has been active several times in historic times since its last major explosive eruption about 1645 BC. Numerous minor and medium-sized, mainly effusive eruptions have occurred. This actually built the dark-colored island of Nea and Palea Kameni inside the caldera. Their first appearance was witnessed and reported by Greek and Roman writers. The last eruption on Nea Kameni occurred in 1950, and at present Santorini is dormant, and volcanism manifests as fumarolic activity and hot springs around the islands. And here we are at geodesy, GPS stations. This is all worldwide, so I'll leave a link and you can see what's going on with the area you are at or are interested in finding. So this is North America, this is Europe, and this is Italy with the boot, and this is Greece. Let's go and find Santorini there. Okay, right here above Greece. Again, inside. There we are. They have a few GPS stations there. Let's take a look at what's happening because they show us the direction where the landmass is heading to and also the inflation of the area. Okay, this is RIBA, and this is showing that it goes east. It's going up, that means it's going east. And this is north-south, it means it's south. It's going south, it's going southeast, and it's basically inflating, but this stops at the year 2016 for some reason. Let's take another one. Let's take one that's inside the Kameni. Okay, this is going east and south again, and basically stable, we see here. But they're not recent readings for some odd reason. Okay, this is not good. This one is not good. Let's take this one here. Again, it's going east, southeast, and it's all over the place. And did we take this one? Let's see this one. Okay, this is going east. It's going southeast and it's inflating. And if we go and take some at some other islands nearby, so the earthquake swarm that we have is basically around here. Okay. And let's go to Amorgos. There is no GPS station Amorgos. Let's go to Astipalia. Okay, that is going east, southeast, and it's all over the place. And if you go to another volcanic island of Nisiros, that's going southeast and it's deflating, meaning southeast going this way. Shall we take something around Rhodes? This is Rhodes, the tip of the island. It's going southeast and it's seasonal inflating. This is up to the air. It's up to current. It's 2024 plus. That's current. At least we can have some activity there. And let's go take the southern tip of Rhodes. The same thing. We know Rhodes has a lot of hot spring baths. It has a lot of magma underneath. Let's take Crete. Let's take Heraklion, Crete. Here's Heraklion. That's the Minoan Empire was there. It's going southeast again, and it's pretty steady. Okay, and we do have spring baths there in Crete as well. Irapidra, southeast, and it's pretty steady. So this is what's going on in Santorini. Where are we? Did I miss it? Here it is. It's basically going southeast, and it's inflating a little bit. But again, these are very old. They only go up to, the readings only go up to 2015 for some reason. They're not at all current. Let's go to this one here. Okay, this is Milos. Milos is a volcanic island. Let's go to the, okay, where's Santorini? There's Santorini. Milos is another volcanic island. Let's take this one here. It's going southeast and it's sort of deflating. And this one here, nothing. Oh, there it goes. Okay, sorry about that. It's giving us more details. Okay. Oh, never mind. Okay, we're going back to the main chart, main map now. Okay, I'll leave a link below so that you can see what's happening in your areas. Shall we take a look at New York? Let's take a look at New York since we're here. Okay, let's see where we are. Okay, let's see how recent those are. Let's take this one here. It's going west, it's going northwest, and it's all over the place. With some inflating there. It's going northwest this way. It's going northwest. Let's take the one at the, let's take this Tarrytown thing. Pleasantville, Tarrytown. It's going northwest and pretty stable. Now let's take one around the Great Lakes. We do have magma under the Great Lakes. Okay, let's take this one here around Cleveland. Okay, it's going it's going northwest, and it's all over the place, inflating towards the end. And let's take one around Lake Huron. This one here. It's going, oh, it's all over the place here. It's pretty stable. That's very strange, isn't it? And let's take one, Lake Superior. Let's take this one. Okay, this is going southwest. Northwest and southwest. Isn't that strange? northwest and southwest. It's going northwest, northwest, and this is going southwest. Very strange. We do have magma there, as we know, stretching there. So all of you, especially in the area of Greece, please be careful. They are expecting a 7 magnitude earthquake there and a possible eruption of the Santorini volcano. As we know, the old eruption of 1610 BC was a VI 7 magnitude eruption. It was huge. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.